Good morning and welcome to the Haven Financial Group radio show. I'm Larry Colvig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. We appreciate you listening this morning. Feel free to give us a call today, 612-504-8400. Visit us online at havenfinancialgroup.com. Any questions you have, direct them our way. If anything resonates with you, know every week we talk about retirement, planning for retirement. You're never too young to get started with this conversation. So if you're listening and you're younger or older and anything in between, this does apply to you. It may be easy to avoid these topics, but at the end of the day, it's better to address these topics. So, Kim, good to be with you again today. And, we're still winter here in Minnesota. We got a ways to go, but I think I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, you know what you see? You see March 1st.
Yes.
Hooray for Hollywood. I
Yes.
mean, we're making it. So, we'll be talking about those jonquils coming up before you know it. I feel confident. Today we want to talk about retirement and it being a family decision. And boy, I really think this is true. You just mentioned whether you're a young person listening, someone who's in the prime of your power days, or if you're somebody who's getting close to retirement, we have so many things that apply to you. And this is one that I think really applies across the board as well, because there's a lot of young people out there who maybe are starting to hear mom and dad say, this is the time, we think we're ready, and the conversations even amongst the kids and the parents begin. Wouldn't you say that's true, Larry?
I would definitely say that because we're all getting older. And the longer I do this, the more conversations I have where, my generation, my age group is taking care of their elder parents.
Yep.
Which, by the way, the older generation, some of those older baby boomers, let's face it, they didn't like to disclose and talk about these topics. How much money or wealth or lack thereof, or they avoided these topics. And I think today, there's certainly the encouragement to have more of these conversations, although we'll talk about it can be emotional, it can be stressful, even within married couples or partners, it can be that. But the importance of making sure you're sharing information, just being in the know to some level is just so very, very important.
Well, Larry, you're somebody who is not ready for retirement, certainly, but your children, your girls are all reaching sort of that adult age. Are these conversations that you'll have with them?
Yes, the answer is definitely yes. And I do have adult children. In fact, just recently, our youngest just turned 20. So we don't have any teenagers left in the house, which is bittersweet, but they are certainly all adult women. But I tell you what, and they're very, obviously I'm biased, they're very intelligent. They get great grades. And in fact, next month we have our oldest getting her white coat ceremony in North Carolina. Another daughter that's going to be applying for med school here shortly. And then two business, one at the University of Kansas, and then one that's in the financial industry as well. But I tell you what, whether they're my daughters or they're teenagers or the younger generation, I don't know what they've taught them or lack thereof, because, the idea of money, the checkbook and some of the common terms or the common topics, I don't think they were taught in the classroom very much, because when we say something about something specific, it's like, oh, really? What's that all about? So yeah. I think the education piece, I wish it would be more prominent in the schools. I don't know why we got away from it, but yes, I will be having these conversations. We've had these conversations because open communication, we're going to talk about, is so very important. And some people just don't want to open up, and that can make it really difficult.
Yeah, it certainly can. Well, let's take a look at retirement, a family decision, and what we want to continue to talk about this morning. We want to talk about retirement on a team. In other words, spousal financial strategies. But the team being you and your spouse. Financial security for your family starts with you. Those are some of those conversations that maybe you're having with your younger adults. Executing tax minimization strategies, and then finally, what to know before selling your home in retirement. All of these very important topics. And if any of this strikes a chord with you, be sure you give the folks at Haven Financial Group a call, 612-504-8400. Let's get started, Larry, talking about some of the conversations that you've overheard between spouses, the ones that have gone well and the ones that maybe have not gone well when it comes to retirement?
Well, we definitely know those that have that are on the same page, that have had open communication, because they're involved. They have the same answers to the same types of questions, which is good. I mean, it's extremely important, because how can you achieve joint goals or couple goals or family goals if you don't have the same ideas in place, and so forth? When those that come in, where their spouse doesn't even show up, oh, your spouse isn't with you. She or he just lets me handle it. Well, that tells me that there's a lack of interest. And let's face it, not everybody likes to talk about money or these types of retirement topics, but it does, for a married couple or a partners, it does affect you both. And you need to have a backup plan. I've said it before, all those that have backfired and they lost their spouses at an inopportune time, and they didn't have any plan at all. And now they're left holding the cards, not knowing what to do. So I can't stress enough both involvement, communication, like-minded. And again, it can be very stressful, and it can even get emotional, and tempers may flare even at times.
Sure.
I've seen it, but to be on the same page makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely. So open communication is what I hear you saying. And that's a
Yes.
dialogue that probably needs to start much younger than when you're getting ready to retire, with the idea that you're working toward the same goals before possibly it would get too late. I would assume too that you'd like for spouses, and you suggest that everybody just sits down and looks at, what you have, where it is, where it might need to be, what kind of budget you need in retirement. All of those kinds of things shouldn't be one-sided. That should not be a secret to anyone.
No. Part of our Haven financial process is to really assess all of the variables involved. Just like you said, what are all your income streams? What types of accounts are you dealing with? Are they IRAs, Roth IRAs, which are individual accounts? You can't combine those. But what accounts can you combine for simplistic reasons and for estate planning reasons? Because if you have individual accounts that are not in both your names, and one passes away or becomes incompetent, you might not have any access to those. And it could cause lots of headaches that way. It can cause an informal probate upon the death of one. So just having an assessment, understanding what you're dealing with, whether it's small, medium, or large. Listeners might go, oh, this is for those that have all kinds of accounts and big values. And no, it's whether you have a little bit or a lot of it. So review these accounts on an ongoing basis, considering spousal IRAs. And I bring this up because, we're in tax season. The tax deadline's coming up. And let's say one of the spouses is working and the other one's not working. Maybe you want to consider contributing on behalf of that non-working spouse's retirement account. Can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Do a lot of people know that? No. Now, there's obviously a max amounts you can, but you'd be surprised over time how much that non-spousal IRA can add up over time. So take advantage of it. However, if you don't have a partner to point these little nuances or different things out, you might be missing opportunities that we see people missing all the time, virtually every single week.
And this all seems to keep coming back to communication, but it also seems to me, Larry, that it's really important that both spouses be on the same page about when they want to retire and what the benefits might be for one to retire at one time and one retire at a different time. These kinds of conversations need to constantly be taken and be had, because it makes a difference in your financial future.
It does. And that's why we plan for different types of retirement ages, because we might have in our mind, like a lot of people do, I'm going to retire at 65, and that's just the way it is. If you haven't checked the calendar, how many times do you see life's calendar doesn't always cooperate with our calendar? Health doesn't cooperate with our calendar. A pink slip shows up and you weren't planning on it, unfortunately, because maybe a younger person took your job. And I shouldn't say that, but do we see it? Unfortunately, yes.
Sure.
So when we build out retirement plans, we're going to stagger and play with different retirement dates. Why? Just this last week, I had a gentleman in. He's 59, him and his wife, by the way, who's not involved. I encouraged him this week again, make sure your wife gets involved. And he's like, Yep. I asked her last week if she wants to be know any of this stuff. And she goes, nope, I'll let you handle it. Okay. He's doing a great job handling it. But she should be involved. Now, his
Sure.
company just got acquired. And so there's an acquisition. It's a new company. And so he's like, it seems to be going good, but you never know. And in our next planning process, we're going to stagger 3 or 4 different retirement dates into the equation, our projections, to see what the outcome is in stress testing. When am I going to run out of money? When am I not going to run out of money? And as well as this, every week I stress the importance of an emergency fund. Whether you're young or retired, having a certain benchmark, especially for retirees, 50 to 100 grand liquid in a type of savings money market CD, it's so important to be able to adapt when the market's down. The roof needs to be done, the driveway, the grandkids need, because there's always something going on. So a good balanced approach, good liquidity, principal protected investments, and then the stock market investments, assessing all of it, being on the same page, no secrets. That never seems to bode well when one spouse doesn't want to tell the other one about it. And that's where we've seen some conversations really blow up. Yes, even in our office.
I'll bet.
And we want to avoid those. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Financial planning with your spouse, it certainly can be emotional, but it needs to be a financial one as well. If you're looking for a partner to help you, maybe referee the team, I don't know. The folks at Haven Financial Group would love to hear from you. Their number is 612-504-8400. Again, that's 612-504-8400. Anything this morning sort of strikes a chord with you, they would love to hear from you. And whether it strikes a chord or not, if financial planning and retirement planning is in your near future, give them a call. 612-504-8400. Financial security for your family starts with you. We're going to talk about that on the other side. This is the Haven Financial Group Radio Show.